Hello everyone, this is Ronnie Carroll here. Welcome to Dublin Liffey 100. Well, hello everyone, welcome to the show. 4 races to go and less than 3 weeks, guys, before the 100 Liffey on the 3rd of August. It's not necessarily unusual to have a show for one race because you can see, the amount of calls that we get here. This is a big deal for people. A lot of people have swam the Liffey in the past, and a lot of people have done sea races in the past, and there's absolutely no way they're going to miss this one.
If you're not registered as far as we're concerned, we've a missing swimmer. You must register.
There are 33 races on the calendar, the main events being obviously the 100 Liffey Swim. To be assured entry, you would have to have 12 swims completed before the 3rd week in July.
Lads, just the lads I called move over here together, the rest of you all move back. We've huge numbers here, lads, huge numbers.
The appeal, it speaks for itself when you see the numbers. Like for instance this year, there'd probably be up to 350 in the men's in the Liffey alone. 20 years ago there might have been 100 swimmers.
I would rather win the Liffey than win the lotto, and I really, really mean that. That's God's honest truth. My dad did all the sea swims for years and years, and I kind of grew up looking at him doing the Liffey, so it's always been there in the background.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Right, the 5 of you is there. You ready? 3, 2, 1, off you go, go!
Last year I was diagnosed with breast cancer and I had surgery and I had chemo all through the summer. I swam all through my chemo in the sea. There's something about getting in and the cold and the when you get in, and then you think, oh no, it's okay, and I think there's something to do with bobbing around and the buoyancy of the water and the lying back in the water and just feeling yourself being held by the water. This really means a lot to me to do it this year, and if I get to do the Liffey, and even if I come last, I'll feel like I won an Olympic medal.
The Liffey Swim started in 1920. There were lots of people who objected to this on the basis that the Liffey was contaminated, but Bernard Fagan was at that time the assistant public analyst, and he had done a bacteriological and chemical analysis of the water from the Liffey and pronounced that it was safe to swim in the Liffey. And as a result, the Leinster branch decided, well, let's try this.
9:15, go!
There is no other swim that I'm aware of that goes right through the heart of the city. There is absolutely no doubt that the Dubliners thought that this was a fantastic idea. There are estimates in the 1920s that as many as 80 to 100,000 people watched the Liffey Swim.
The group I swim with it's one of the most important things in my life anyway, and I think they would probably all say the same. I mean, there's teachers and accountants and people working in IT, I'm a doctor, and we're all terrified getting in and we're all elated getting out, and really on the day anyone can win because there is a handicapping system. So it's good. I don't know how the faster swimmers feel about that. I'm sure maybe they feel a bit kind of peeved that they don't get a better chance, but it's great for us.
We do 2,000 metres every night. Every night, yeah. And then we have the swim here twice or 3 times a week.
Are you cold in there today? 2 minutes, go! Very cold.
No one ever remembers the second. I was second in it 3 times. No one ever remembers, and no one ever says, well, you ever second in the Liffey, but you remind them about winning the Liffey.
1989.
89, that's it.
Yes, winner, all right.
Everyone knows it. It's nice to win, all right, but you have to enjoy them. If you don't enjoy them, it's not worth going. You know, it's all about enjoyment.
My injury was in 2002. I had a spinal injury. I was in the hospital for almost a year, yeah. Obviously I couldn't do the sports that I had done before the accident, with running, and I played rugby. There's lots of wheelchair sports which I wasn't really interested in because I didn't want to be in a wheelchair, so swimming was something that I could consider. I went to the sea with some colleagues and we got interested in competing and started doing the races. I've done a few longer ones, like 10k in Vermont. I've done 10k last year in the Hudson in New York. So between the 5 and 10k, because I'm not very fast, I don't kick my legs, but I like the long distances because I'm good and strong. So obviously fitness-wise, it's great, and the very fact that I can do it is great. But then mentally, it's really good because in the water, I'm like everybody else. I feel like, I wouldn't be as self-conscious, yeah.
You doing river dance there, Robbie?
Huh?
You doing river dance there?
Yeah, trying to get. I'm not even that fast in my slip.
How do you go?
I'm going to show you. Look, can't close it. Fingers won't let me close it. See, first they panic when they see you like this. They panic and they start calling an ambulance. And if you take your heart rate, it's all over the place.
How long does it take you to warm up then?
An hour.
Is it worth it?
Yeah, it is. It's great fun. That's why I keep coming back for it. The battle is absolutely great. The battle for it is great.
I've 2 lads that swim, but the lad that won it was 10 when he did the first Liffey. There he is, and he's 10. That's gas. He won it in 2003. It was great excitement because we were all swimming. His brother Scott, his dad and myself and my daughter, we were all swimming, and it was always who's won the men's, he'd be waiting, and then somebody said, "You're a young fella's after winning the men's." So it was just great. It was great. It can be peaty, it can be dark, it doesn't taste the same, but I think sometimes you often do things that aren't nice at the time and then you're absolutely thrilled afterwards. So I suppose you could attach the same feeling about the Liffey, and there's such history, such great history. This is the newspaper clipping from the First Lady's Liffey. 1991, and that's the picture in September, and 48 ladies swam in the first Liffey. Women didn't swim the island either until not that long ago. It was kind of nice.
Last call for the red hats, lad, red hats. The boat's going to leave in 5 minutes.
Lambs to the slaughter.
Swimmers, you can put your bags in the white van over there.
We're halfway through now, 15 gone.
Alright, we're like sardines now. It's all very close.
Oh, there's a few in here.
The Ireland was always the main race. All the swimmers always put this down as the race to win, if you could, because it was the most difficult one. I've done it 30 odd times. Up to about 25 years ago, you got thrown out of the island and you had to make your way back. That was it. There was no such a thing as lifeguards in boats coming after you. The tide comes from right to left, and then you could pass the same person maybe twice or three times the race, because people be getting pulled to one side. It's 2,500 metres as well, so it's a good swim. If you're only swimming a year or 2 years, it's not the swim to throw yourself into, because it's hard. Believe me, it's hard.
12:15, go! Stevie Nolan, don't be mooching out there. Come back in here.
There's only one honest North Dublin man left. Look at him. Look at him out there.
Well, I am a novice for the island. I have never swam the island before, and neither has my daughter Claire ever done it, so we're looking forward to it. Yeah. So you are dealing with the elements of the tide and the coldness, but that's what it's all about. The Liffey as a swim, it's so unusual because it's in a city, so your vista is entirely different. So it's very interesting. I always felt it was like the final in Croke Park for open sea calendars. It was the main event. I love the Liffey. We enjoy it.
Come on.
The influence of John Charles McQuaid probably stopped the idea of women competing in the Liffey Swim. He wrote letters which were published in the Irish Times, the Irish Press, the Irish Independent. He stated, "It is a Christian duty incumbent on all of us not to adopt what is morally wrong. God is not modern, neither is his law." And then later on, he went on to state, "It is supremely unbecoming that they should flaunt themselves and display themselves before the eyes of all." Such was the uproar that the idea of women swimming down the Liffey being viewed by 80 to 100,000 spectators really was not on at that time.
I grew up in Dalkey, not far from Killiney here. Our house was in the sea, so it was no problem hopping over the wall and jumping in. And then finally I joined the club when I was 15 and was an Irish champion, Irish record holder, and swam for Ireland a few times. I've loads of Irish records, about, I don't know, over 20 anyway.
I've heard letters or read letters from the Catholic Church kind of banning women and banning mixed sports. And banning...
Oh yeah, but most people ignored those requests if they had any sense. I'm 77 and I do all the sea swims. So no need to give up. When you're in your 70s or 80s, you just hope you last till you're 100. In Ireland, we're blessed with the Liffey, and then the tradition that goes behind it is just tremendous. And then, of course, the enjoyment after the race, where we all get together and giving out about the handicapper and all the rest of it, but you're not that he's going to listen.
They handled can't make it up as they go along. But they did it. Did you not hear his speech? I did. He said we're making it up as we go along. They just hate North Dublin, the handicap. Fuck off. Don't take you and me.
Same handicap as the Poxy Islands. Is it open, is it? Yeah. 12:45 minutes up. So it's a rectangular course, swam in a clockwise direction. Race starts in 2 minutes. Let's go. If we can all line up, get started. Thank you.
I'm from County Armagh, wee town called Lurgan, and I've been doing these series of swims here, hoping to qualify for the Liffey 100 swim. It's an hour and 40 from Armagh, basically. Fortunately, I think the rain followed us the whole way down. Something I always wanted to do was the Liffey swim. I didn't realise just how much qualifying there was, and particularly this year with the 100th. It's been, I suppose, an uphill battle trying to work shift work and trying to get down here.
Come on, Barry! Run!
Unfortunately, this will be my 5th, 6th swim, and I'm doing 2 more at the weekend to bring me up to 8. So I'm not sure if I'm going to make the cut or not, but here's hoping.
Good luck, Barry.
I started in 1970 and this year 50.
How did you never miss a Liffey in 50 years?
Just didn't.
But like surely like weddings would come up or, you know...
You missed a wedding. Believe it or not, I was supposed to go to a wedding this time around. Yeah, honest to God. I'm only at the castle, honest to God. No, well I swam down the Liffey with broken arms. And then there was one year I was nearly getting out, I got a panic attack. I couldn't see anything in front of me. That was the nearest I got to getting out.
Nothing's going to stop you this year?
Nothing's going to stop me. I'm going to win. No, I don't think so. Yeah.
The tide is running very strongly south, but the tide will also carry you out offshore, over to Wales. So when you go across the harbour mouth, be sure you don't get dragged to Wales. It's a bit of a pain in the ass to rescue you from there. But if you've not completed at least 3 lots of 1800 metres in the Irish Sea in the last 6 weeks, we suggest this is not the time to try it. And finally, enjoy your swim and knowing that your safety is our primary concern.
It was really nice at the start. Yeah, it just got choppy then, and yeah, it was hard. On a 1 to 10, it was like 8 or 9. It was just so wavy, and I was thrown around everywhere. It was like a rag doll. Yeah, I came around the wall and I thought, oh my God, how am I going to make this? But yeah, no, it's good.
I felt it harder than the island. So was it the toughest swim? Possibly it was. I didn't feel any great benefit of the tide, and the waves were tough, you know, coming in towards the pier there and going across the mouth of the harbour. But I really enjoyed it.
Declan in our club had told us that they'd be opening up the entries at 8 o'clock, so I had the kids all on their iPads. So anyway, I got through without any dramas. It's a really, really, really big deal because it's the Liffey first of all, and it's the 100th Liffey, which is a really big deal. But this time last year, I was in the middle of treatment. You know, I was having chemotherapy and no hair and no eyebrows, and felt like I'd been run over by a bus and on anti-nausea meds. And this year, I just feel so well, and I've been out all summer swimming, and I'm going to do the Liffey and with all my best pals. So that's really good, and then we're all going to go on the lash. So it means an awful lot to me. It's a kind of, I think it's like a 2 fingers to cancer. I think that's what it is for me. I've done loads of runs and triathlons, and there's nothing like the Liffey. When you're starting and the Lord Mayor starts to sing Molly Malone, and it's just, God, I got really goosebumps now.
Give us a wave, lads.